What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's daily news report, I want to talk about stimulus, where things are going, because lawmakers and governors are also asking President Biden for the same thing, some form of relief for the pretty much just on gas prices. Now, good news is we are seeing gas prices somewhat level off, which is great because hopefully they will come back down. I'm also going to give you a stock market update as well on what's going on, because tomorrow is a very big day, so we need to keep an eye on that. And also got some COVID news as well regarding vaccines. So let's get right into it. We learned today that President Biden is going to head over to Europe sometime next week. Now, many have been calling for this because they are saying that right now the Biden administration needs to bench Vice President Kamala Harris and let somebody with more negotiating experience and kind of savvy talk with NATO allies. They say this because right now, NATO is not operating as one. What they're seeing is NATO and the NATO allies are doing something that's somewhat different, because even though the United States has sanctioned Russia and Russian oil and banned it, not every NATO ally has done this, because they are actually trying to require more, trying to buy the exact same amount, because, well, Europe is struggling. They can't keep on telling their residents you got to pay more for gas because, well, we got to get it from Russia. So that's the issue there. So hopefully President Biden can go over there and smooth things out with them. But when it comes to Kamala Harris, this is really getting out of hand, because many say that we need to get her out of the negotiation seat, because too many people have stated that Kamala Harris was a joke. I'm not kidding. This isn't a joke here. Too many people have stated, even within the Biden administration, that Kamala Harris is a joke. They say that far too often she freezes up. Somebody asks her a question, she doesn't know, right? she laughs, right? That's her go-to thing. There's so many times she has been seen on national TV, just out of control. She just laughs over serious situations. And just recently she was seen laughing because somebody asked her about what's going on in Ukraine. And, well, her thing was she was just going to laugh. And so that's the interesting thing, is what's going to happen here when President Biden takes over these discussions. Because she's not only trying to smooth things out overseas with Ukraine and NATO allies, she's supposed to be in charge of our border between the United States and Mexico. Well, I can tell you right now, that's not getting any better. We haven't even done updates on that because, well, what's the point? We know where that's going. So we'll see what happens there, and I promise I will bring you these updates as soon as we get them. But as of right now, there's not much going on other than too many lawmakers from, and again, people from within the Biden administration are asking for a change. They want to see President Biden step up and be a leader and not push these responsibilities off to somebody that cannot take them. So again, we'll see. We did learn today that the Fed nominee, Sarah Bloom Raskin, she actually withdrew from her consideration for the Fed seat. Now, we knew that, and this came yesterday as well, is that Senator Joe Manchin, Senator Murkowski, and others, they actually opposed her for this specific position, mainly due to climate. Now, her withdrawal will actually clear the way for some of President Biden's other picks to get their consideration as well. But again, we're going to see what happens here. The good news is, if you were invested in the stock market, the withdrawal from Sarah Bloom Raskin actually sent the stock market up, which is also good news there. Now, even though we have seen gas prices really level off and actually drop, good news here, they dropped a penny since like 2 days ago. Well, not a whole lot. It's not going to put, you're not going to be a millionaire, but just understand, this doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. We've kind of hit that peak, and we could see it drop and then go back up, or we could see it just level off and come back down. The expectation, though, and this is something that many people are worried about, is that these large oil companies are going to leave prices the same or bring them down just a little bit, profit off the difference, profit off the American people, and yet we're not going to see anything because, well, lawmakers aren't going to pass a bill saying that Congress or the large oil companies have to provide a 50% tax to their additional profits. That was something that was proposed, and then the additional revenue that was brought in from that would go out to the American people. This was brought up by Senator Whitehouse and Representative Rokana, but at this time, there's not enough support for that bill, so we'll see what happens there. But what we do know is that many lawmakers are still calling on President Biden to do something to help with gas prices, even though they're leveling off. But President Biden has stated that the American people will have to take the brunt of this, and this is one of our ways of standing up to Russia. But again, at the same time, governors are asking President Biden for additional help as well. And this is the plan. According to multiple governors, they've had discussions to provide both state and federal gas tax holidays. Now, just to give you an idea, okay, I'm not going to go through every state because, for one, it's going to take far too long, and you only live in one state, so it's really only going to benefit one person for every state, or you kind of get the idea. But federal taxes are 18 cents per gallon, okay? State taxes range anywhere from 17 cents to 51 cents per gallon, okay? So total, every single state would receive between 35 cents per gallon to 69 cents per gallon as a reduced price because of federal and state taxes, okay? Now, some say these will not provide enough relief to make a difference, and so that's one of the reasons they're not pushing this. But get this. One person said today, anonymously, is that when we say they won't make a difference, they are talking about a difference to the election, not the American people's wallets. Now, I don't know if that's coming from a lawmaker, a Senate aide, a senator, right? I have no clue. A White House official. Okay, this was anonymous, but they said, okay, that when I say difference, I'm talking about a difference to the election, not the American people's wallets. Now, I want to touch on this because this is something that we've seen multiple times, is lawmakers want to pass something that's going to help out the American people, but the benefit behind that is it's going to help out that lawmaker. It's going to get Democrats in the seats. It's going to get Republicans in the seats. That's the big goal. And again, it's so frustrating because, yeah, we care about who's going to win in the House and the Senate and what's going to happen there. But at the same time, we care about funding our essential costs, our rent, our mortgage, our car payments, our food, right? Medications, insurance, things like that. Things that we have to pay for. So we'll see what happens there. But again, many lawmakers are still pushing for the stimulus checks that would be paid out by large oil companies. But one of the things that Congress is so worried about is we can't push for that because, large oil companies are just going to take on bigger profits and they're not going to really provide much to the American people. So right now, they're pushing for something that may never happen. So we'll see. We also know tomorrow is going to be a big day because tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have the Fed meeting minutes get released. This is going to show what was discussed, and this is going to give us an indication of how interest rates will rise. Again, we are expecting a 1/4 point rate hike, and this is what was expected over the past couple weeks. We're now expecting this to be about 95% chance that it is a 1/4 rate point hike. What I can tell you is that this will probably happen over the next 7 to probably 10 meetings that they have. We're going to continue to see a 1/4 point, 1/4 point, 1/4 point, and so on. And after we see what happens, one of the things I told you guys is I will provide you with an update on what I plan on doing with my own portfolio, because I did buy pretty heavy today. Because one of the things we know is that right before a jobs report, right before a CPI release, right before the Fed meeting minutes, right before these big things, right before the election, that's kind of when we're seeing kind of peak fear or uncertainty. And high levels of uncertainty are great times to buy in, especially if we think things are going to reverse. And I think things will reverse. So I did buy in pretty heavy today. I bought in with stocks like Apple, Google, Tesla, and even Enphase. But I will give you an update as to whether my strategy of continuing to day trade over the rest of this year is still going to happen, or am I going to switch to more of a swing trading philosophy? Now, I may do both. I haven't decided yet. I'm still trying to weigh my options, but all options are on the table. And in COVID and vaccine news, today Pfizer has asked the FDA to clear another booster shot for adults. They say that a fourth dose is needed to help fend off Delta and Omicron variants, and that this is what will be needed to keep America open. Again, this is probably referring to what's happening in China, where China is locking down about 30 million people, 30 million residents for about another 5 days. So, as we get more information on what's going on across the world and here in the United States, I promise I will keep you updated on everything that's going on. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.